Hey everybody, I'm William.
I'm Kina.
And we are the Nerdyweds.
And we are back doing VEDA again. And VEDA is video or vlog every day in April or August.
And guess what month it is?
August!
So, yeah, checking this channel every single day for a new video in August. There might even be 2 videos if we post some shorts later in the month.
Oh, okay. There will definitely be 2 videos then, because we're doing shorts every day in August as well. So today's video is an interview that we recorded at Spookala of Seth Green, and it's very entertaining. So,
yeah, he's a funny dude.
Yeah.
He's got a lot of great stories from a lot of different movies and experiences, and it was just really fun to watch. Hope you enjoyed as well. Make sure you hit the like button, comment, subscribe to the channel, check out our 500 giveaway for 500 subscribers coming up, and enjoy the video.
Yep.
Until next time.
Stay nerdy.
No, there hasn't been.
You're okay.
And if I ever pass on something, it's because I don't think I can do the best job. I'm not right for this, or I don't want to have that experience. But I also take jobs that don't pay anything because this guy's shooting it or this person's starring in it or whatever. I like to do the stuff that seems like it's going to be the best version of the thing that I like to do. Yeah, right. Thank you, Charlie.
So how about this? We're going to take that question Charlie had and we'll just play it a little differently.
Okay.
Is there a role that you got, and once you got the role and you got into it, you're like, whoa, this is not what I thought it was going to be when I accepted it. I'm really going to have to stretch to make this thing what they wanted.
Not really, but I did. It's very silly. So I know the comic book writer Jeff Loeb, who did like the Long Halloween and the Red Hulk, and at one point, this is more than 10 years ago, he's taken over some of the narrative content from Marvel television. He wound up producing stuff like Daredevil, but at this point they were just doing animated stuff. And so he says to me, hey man, we're gonna do an animated thing. Do you wanna play A-Bomb? Do you wanna play The Abomination? And I was like, oh yeah, cool. And so I did for the pilot, not knowing, I thought it was a short, like a movie, so the one time, and then they go, great, the show got picked up for 56 episodes. And so I wound up doing nearly 60 episodes of Hulk and the Agents of Smash. No regrets. I love it. I got to be A-Bomb, but I also was like, I'm sorry, is what? Like, it's gonna be a 2-day commitment every week for the next 5 years. I was just like, oh geez. So that was more than I expected when I signed up for it. But again, no regrets, guys.
All right, next up in the line, what's your name? What's your question for Mr. Seth Green?
Which Punisher are you?
I'm the black one.
There we go.
Fair enough.
Let's talk.
I want to know basically about Buffy the Vampire Slayer. That's where I really know you from. And it became a very big icon. I'm not really from Florida. I'm from South Carolina, and I have to say it was a big, yes, the home of the Gamecocks. But yeah, that's where we really know you from. And my name's Nelson Scott. That's a small bit.
What's up, Nelson?
Yes, but I want to know how you felt about Buffy the Vampire Slayer being such an icon and your role in that.
Well, I gotta give you a little bit of context. So the movie script, the Buffy the Vampire Slayer, I thought was one of the coolest, funniest, most original things that I'd ever read. And I got to be in that movie in a role that got cut out. But there's a scene where Paul Rubens is on a merry-go-round, and what's that kid's name? Sasha Jensen, I think. I'm the vampire that kills him, but they wound up cutting this moment out. I played like a nerdy vampire with glasses and braces on my fangs. And so I was really into Buffy as an idea before it got turned into a series. And then when it got turned into a series, I was already friends for over 15 years with Sarah Gellar, and I had known Allison Hannigan almost 10 years at that point. So I was like, oh great, the girls got a new show. Oh, they're trying to put Buffy on TV, let's see how this goes. And then I got to audition for it, and I never got to play parts like that, like a cool guy, somebody that played a guitar and was like pining over a girl. You know, the character never got pantsed or head shoved in a toilet. People saw him do something on stage and they were like, hey, that was great, instead of like, I'm gonna kill you. So very different role for me. And I knew when we were doing it that it was great. I knew that the dialogue I was getting, the scenes they were writing, the storytelling, I knew that it was great. No, and it sort of didn't is the thing. Like, it was big with kids, but that was at a time when Warner Brothers was launching their UHF, WB, and they were putting a lot of money. It would become like the CW sort of young teen or you know, older kid kind of programming, like romantic drama, that's life, education stuff. So Buffy was one of the first things that got to be that. It was on the air at the same time as like Dawson's Creek got launched. And so this is very new programming. And we knew it was hitting with our peer group, but it wasn't getting any kind of legitimate recognition. Like the Emmys didn't notice it. We got advertising sponsorship, but it wasn't something that was wildly respected. It's over time that people really got to study and unpack it. And then especially I love Generation sharing with their kids. So you get this timeless teenage experience that's sort of well curated. I like that. I like that people made it their own. So I knew it was getting big when they put our faces on like root beer cans, lollipops. I was like, I don't know about this, guys. I thought we were doing something different. And then, but it's really years later. It's like after the show was on the air that people tell me that the show helped give them information that they needed or made them feel a little less alone, which is really all it was trying to do. So I love that. I love getting to be a part of something like that.
Nelson, did you have his lunchbox?
No, is that the right question?
Yeah, that's the right answer. A real talk, a buddy of mine got that lunchbox, and he kept hiding it around my house. So I like it did pop up in some place, and I was like, I tried to get rid of this. And he brings it back with the rubber ball from the Changeling.
The haunted lunchbox.
That's a deep cut. There's like one person in here who saw that movie.
All right, thanks a lot, Nelson. Appreciate it very much. All right, next in line, come on up. Oh, I know this person. All right, what's your name? What's your question?
Hi, my name is Amanda. First, thank you for being a great panel host today. And thank you to our ASL interpreter. You're doing amazing. Thank you so much.
I haven't even tried to stump you yet.
Don't make her say bad words. It's
I won't. No, just like get a little Bone Thugs and Harmony to see how fast your skills are.
Hey, I will tell you something really funny though about Sarah real quick. So this is actually a good little story that happened. So we did the panel a couple panels ago, and we were going like 1,000 miles an hour.
Yes.
And we got off the stage, and I said, "Did you sprain your hand or injure your hand?" And she was like, "I actually stabbed myself in my thumb and my finger because I was trying to go so fast." So yes, I did. This is Sarah over here, everybody. So let's give her a big round of applause. Thank you very much. Now that we've gone through all these other tangents, back to you.
Well, the first time that I met you was around San Diego Comic-Con 10 years ago. And
Sure, where I lived for nearly 20 years, yeah.
Exactly, but thank you. You're always a sweetheart. So my question is, there's a little bit of feedback going on. Okay. Two soundtracks from the 90s, Can't Hardly Wait and Idle Hands, I would say, are absolute bangers. I still play them all the time. My question would be, what movie soundtrack, whether it was a movie you were a part of or that you heard as a fan, do you just play on repeat?
Sure. I love movie soundtracks. I love legitimate needle drop music that is appropriate for a film and becomes as a collection like your own mixtape related to that movie. I love that James Gunn really revived the concept of a needle drop movie soundtrack and made it like a mixtape. My first favorite movie soundtrack is Purple Rain. I don't know if you've ever seen this masterpiece of a movie starring the absolute legend Prince. The film's phenomenal. The soundtrack is one of the best soundtracks ever made. And then I like stuff like Stand By Me or Lost Boys, or like good stuff that had a bunch of brand new music on it. But I'm even into like the Tangerine Dream 3 O'Clock High soundtrack. Like, I love music. I got to make a movie in Thailand and really emphasized all my effort around the soundtrack. We put out a vinyl, but there's only like 500 pieces, but it has both the score and all of our needle drum music. So I love it. What's your favorite?
Idle Hand soundtrack is just amazing. But if you're feeling particularly emo, because I was in high school around that time, it's got to be the Can't Hardly Wait soundtrack. I mean, come on.
We launched a lot of bands. That's great.
That's a fragrance of love scented candle, beat.
That's what I'm talking about. Hey, actually, an incredible piece of real trivia. The prop master who built my backpack for Can't Hardly Wait went on to make all of the props for Marvel. Made Thor's hammer and the Infinity Gauntlet. Same guy.
It all started with a love pack. I love
See
that.
what I'm saying? That's great.
Thank you very much.
My pleasure.
That's
Yeah.
great. Thank you so much. All right, next in the line. What's your name? What's your question?
Hi, I met you yesterday. Name's Corey.
Hey, what's up, Corey? Good to see you again.
Yeah. So I actually had a question about the movie back from 2003, Party Monster.
Oh yeah, sure.
Yeah. So what was the main thing that interested you in playing James St. James?
Sure. So, for anybody that doesn't know, Party Monster is the true story of the club scene in New York in the 90s, and these larger-than-life, fantastic personalities who spread the concept of club culture, basically self-expression and artistic revelation all across the country. They went on shows like Donahue and Sally Jesse, and they preached the gospel of letting out your inner you, and they basically, like Pied Pipers, lured a lot of kids to New York, and they realized New York is very expensive and you can't just live on drugs and glitter. So it all sort of imploded, but it was the beginning of what would become ballroom culture, what would become Drag Race, would become any of these kinds of explosive, performance art. So what interested me about that, they asked me to play that role, and me, I've been acting my whole life. It's my favorite thing. I never get asked to play something as complicated and as challenging as that guy. James St. James is an extraordinarily talented writer and performer and artist, but was also at the center of that insane situation, which resulted in a pretty grisly murder and an arrest, and so much trauma spiraled out of that. Very good idea. I was very excited to be a part of getting to tell that story, make sure it was told well. When you share those kinds of bits of history, the context of it, the message you try and give from it, like it wasn't that all of that should be burned to the ground. It's just there's rails you need to follow so that people don't get hurt, or people don't lose themselves in it. So, and also the amazing thing for me was that there's so much real footage, because those kids were filming themselves 24 hours a day. And so the guys that made the documentary Eyes of Tammy Faye, they made the documentary Party Monster, they're the same people that wrote and directed the film. Randy and Fenton, they run World of Wonder, which is like the founding producers of Drag Race and all that stuff. So they had hundreds of hours of footage. And so me and Macaulay Culkin, who had not made a movie in like 8 or 10 years, we convinced him to do this movie. And he and I had become friends like 2 years before that, so we spent that whole time thinking about how this movie would get made when the script was right. And then we only had like 18 days to shoot the movie, so it's the craziest prep, all this work, and then you're like running like a marathon and it's over in a second. So, I love that movie. Nobody ever sees it. This is a great lesson. The financiers of the movie were cash poor when we took it to Sundance, and so they took the highest money deal, which was an exclusive DVD release with Blockbuster. And so Blockbuster owned the sum total of all of the manufactured DVDs from this movie. You literally can't find a hard copy of it. Yeah. Thank you.
Thanks a lot, man.
Did I answer the question?
I think, you know what, whether you did or not, I think you did. Whether you did, it was still a good story, so that's all that matters.
Thanks.
That's right.
Which I kind of blacked out.
I'm telling you, you know what, if you keep this up, you might have a career in this one.
You think so?
I think so.
Some kind of like communications? I didn't go to college.
All right, next up, what's your name? What's your question for Mr. Seth?
That's Wendy.
Oh, what's up, Wendy?
Recognize.
I just have a question. Can you hear me?
Step just a little closer.
Actually, we're from Pennsylvania.
That's true. I am from Pennsylvania. Where in Pennsylvania from?
I'm from Lewistown, Pennsylvania.
I'm familiar with that. Right on.
We're also the same age.
Sweet. Well, I won't reveal that to everybody.
Okay, so we've established you're both 25. Good to go. Let's go.
So I just had a quick question. All the things that you've ever done, have you got to keep anything that you could share with us that's like, oh my gosh, this is the coolest, or...
Yeah.
Well, he just said he had the first backpack created by the guy who does.
No, I didn't keep them. I didn't keep any of that stuff.
What?
No, but I do have the suit that Scott Evil wore at the end of the Third Austin Powers. I have that black suit. And then I have a Hawaiian shirt that James St. James wore in Party Monster. And I convinced the prop guys on the Italian job to let me walk off with one of those gold bricks. And then when September 11th happened, I got the whole cast to sign it and we auctioned it off for the firefighters. That was really funny, by the way, FedExing that brick all over the world, taking everybody to sign it. Everybody's in completely different countries. This 20 pounds of weight being sent through the mail.
Can I ask you one more question?
Okay, do it.
Was there anything you would have liked to have gotten that you didn't get to get?
Was there what?
Was there anything you would have liked to have had that,
Yeah,
you know?
I got to be on the set of The Force Awakens, and I was like, what can I take all of this? I just gotta leave with, gotta get like one of these back, that's Rey's lightsaber. I just noticed that this is Finn's gun. I'm just gonna put this in my pocket. No, I didn't take anything. No, it feels like legitimately stealing, you know. If somebody doesn't give you something, you're like, I'm just gonna take this. It's the actual definition of stealing, so. Thanks, Wendy. I love your sandwiches.
Do you like this guy's sandwiches?
Yeah, I know this guy. We go way back. Hey, no joke, that first Texas Chainsaw Massacre is one of the best horror movies ever made. It set such a precedent for the way that something's photographed, the sort of mundane nature of the horror. Really, good pick.
Underrated.
I mean, it's iconic, but maybe not enough people talk about it, right?
Alright, so I know this question is not going to be asked. That's why I felt like I needed to bring it up.
Okay.
What was it like being on the set of Scooby-Doo 2 Monsters on
Yes,
Loose?
it's the best. It's the best.
And how was the whole cast, bringing you in to that wacky family?
So I get it really easy. Let's be honest, guys. My career has usually been getting entry level at something that's already very exciting. And a lot of times they're just like, yeah, do whatever. So that movie had already worked. They were like, we just need you to romance Velma. And I was like, I'm in for this 100%. Like I said earlier, Sarah Gellar and I have known each other since we're little kids. Freddie Prinze and I met him the year he turned 19. I got to be in the first movie that he ever made. So I've known all these people all this time. And super excited about James Gunn who wrote Scooby-Doo 2 and was just on set with like nothing to do. So talk about somebody else who was on set with nothing to do. James and I just hung out the whole time. And all of those sets were standing next to each other. So the Scooby Gang is like hiding out, everybody's, the restaurants and stuff. And then they had this massive standing set for the museum, which had all of the statues of the villain. Like they really created all that stuff. So while everybody else was shooting whatever they were shooting, I was like, oh, James, we did a disposable camera. And we just took the silliest, dirtiest pictures with all of those characters. So like the miner, the pirate, I'm just like, it was very, very wildly inappropriate. So that's how I spent my time on the set. It was basically just getting in trouble.
Can I ask you another really quick one? So being an original cast member from the original It miniseries, what did you think of the remake?
Oh man, I love the new movies. Holy cow, I really love the new movies. But it's kind of that thing, you're talking about right, so we're all born into a time where the legends, the icons, the mythology, it's all already existed, right? Shakespeare's written all these plays and they continue to get reinterpreted. This is the established stuff that audiences are going to carry forward. And what's interesting is that we all live in this moment where new icons have been created. There's brand new mythological superstars, right? And you get to see new interpretations of them the same way you would Macbeth or Othello. You know, you look at how many actors have gotten to play Batman and how many different kinds of Batman you get to get. So we're in this awesome time where all of it is relevant, all of it is yours, and these are the new things that we're carrying on. And so I think, you wouldn't say that Stephen King is Shakespeare, but you could look at this book, this story, and see that it can be interpreted several different ways. Like how many times have they made The Stand, right? And each time it's a different stab at it. So I love what we made. Still one of the coolest experiences I've ever had. I was a teenage actor who was very serious about my work, getting to work with some of the literal titans of the business. And also I was like I don't know if I was the oldest kid on the set, but I was definitely the one with the most experience. So every once in a while I had to be like, all right guys, let's be cool, right? The director's talking, whatever that. So anyway, the short of it is, I love the new movies. Holy cow, I thought those kids were great. I told them so, we all met back here. And I like that you get to keep doing it, right? That there's all these different versions of this story. Tim Curry, Bill Skarsgård, like it's really cool.
Thank you, Seth.
Anytime, Leatherface.
Scotty Dunn.
What? But I already did.
All right, thanks a lot. All right. So can somebody help her with the mic here?
Hey, how's it going? Oh, look at this, it's Mick the Zombie.
All right, so what is your name and what's the question that you have?
Okay, so my name is Mika and...
Hi, Mika.
Can I please get a job on Robot Chicken? And before you answer that, I have 4 child slave wages.
So many questions. First of all, I guess what kind of job are you looking for?
I don't know, like something like voice.
Something voice. Okay. Well, there's some union regulations around that. We'll figure out somewhere. I'll figure out. Is that what you want to be doing?
Yeah.
Voice stuff. Well, you already sound incredibly competent, and just your lack of fear with getting in front of all these people and speaking.
I'm impressed.
You're already halfway there. I tell everybody the same advice that I got about voice acting. It's really acting. It's just acting with your voice. So if you practice that, if you spend time focusing on that, that's how you get better at it. But how to break into it, man, you just gotta keep shooting. Just keep shooting your shot. At some point it works.
Okay.
Don't ever quit. That's the truth.
You
Okay, bye. Hey, you did a really good job too.
What did we just witness right there, man? That was cool. All right. So she set the bar really high.
Yeah.
No pressure for anybody else in the line, but that bar was...
Oh, we're deeply familiar at this point.
All right.
What do you want to ask me now?
Okay, hi, my
Hey, what's
name
up?
is Sarah.
Yeah. Totally familiar.
Yes, very familiar.
Yeah.
I know we've been talking. So
I can pull you out of this crowd very easy.
Pretty easy to spot me with this.
Oh, guys, it's Sarah. You know, with the bottle.
Anyways, so obviously I'm gonna ask you about Idle Hands.
Okay.
Big surprise, but anyways, so what was your favorite thing, or like favorite scene, or just favorite anything filming during that movie?
This is so much fun making that movie.
That's what I
was.
heard.
Well, because Devon Sawa, so the movie's about a kid whose hand is possessed, and so Devon Sawa did all of the heavy lifting in this movie. Like, he's doing this miming with, oh my god, Brian broke the equipment.
Oh, here we go.
There we are. Just a button. Boom. Now we both have COVID.
Here's what it is.
It was so much fun making that movie. When we were filming the dance at the gym, that was one of the greatest nights ever. Obviously because The Offspring was there, because they were already like a popular band, and I couldn't believe they were there, and trying to be real cool, and hanging out with them. Oh, like, touch your guitar, thanks. But just because there was a bunch of extras, and everybody was in a goofy mood, and the ADs are like, everybody's dancing, but making no noise, and so a lot of mine... When you're filming, you can't talk because it can interrupt the sound. Anyway, one of the silliest memories that I have is we shot through the night all the time on that movie. Like, we would start at sundown and then we would shoot until the sun came up because everything was exterior and everything was at night. One time, it was like 3:30 in the morning and we still had a lot to do. And they had closed off the streets in the neighborhood, and I just went out in the middle of the street and I laid down, just in the middle of the street, and then Eldon came and laid down, like in the middle of the street too, and then before I knew it, Devin was there, and all our heads were together. And I was like, grabbed a Polaroid camera, and I have a hard copy, a Polaroid selfie of us laying in the street at 4 in the morning, Burbank, I think we were.
Also, one more very quick, small question.
Okay.
Okay.
Definitely. This will be plenty of time.
Okay. Is it true that I didn't have time? I did this cosplay in 27 days. I tried to make Mighty Joe Ball, but I didn't have time.
Yes, it's an actual carburetor.
Is it true?
From like muffler parts.
Is it true that on set you guys used it at some point?
They proved that it could be lit because there was a gag where they needed us to actually like inhale it.
Okay,
yeah.
So, but anytime during offset, off screen, did you guys ever use it? Like, was
For
it a functional bomb?
illegal cannabis consumption?
I didn't, you said it early. I'm sorry, Seth.
What? Oh my god, I thought this was a PG panel.
Seth, you said it, not me. I said nothing about that.
I couldn't confirm or deny that, really.
That's fair.
A lot of people had access to that muffler.
That's true. Thought I'd ask.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, good stuff.
Okay, so the last person that's in the line right now, that's going to be the cutoff as far as the questions.
We're going to make it, guys.
So nobody behind that guy that's in the back of the line, that's going to be all of it. If you don't get a chance to get your question answered, I'm sure that Seth will be...
They're all single file, like Tusken Raiders, so they're hiding their tracks. Who knows how many people are in this line? It could be 40, it could be 2.
All right, what's your name? What's your question?
Hi, my name's Carol. I'm a really big fan.
Oh, thanks.
My question is, if we ever got an Austin Powers 4, it would make sense that Scott has his own angsty kid. Who would play that child if you could pick?
Oh, that's funny. I don't know. Who's a great kid? You know what? Did you see the GM commercial that we did for the Super Bowl?
Yeah.
With Scott's got a baby?
Yes.
I think if they ran with that storyline, they'd keep it a baby. I said to Mike, because they pitched the baby idea, they're like, what do you think Scott's got a baby? I was like, yeah, that's great. What if the baby, because the story is always that right, Scott's the dad now. So his whole thing is like, you're a terrible father. I'm gonna show you what a great dad can be. But this kid would hate his own father. And to really shove it in his face, he'd love the grandfather. We all saw this in The Force Awakens. Ben Solo is like, these are my parents? Han Solo and Princess Leia are my parents? And everybody all like, yo Ben, your parents are great. And he's like, yeah, thanks. Man, your parents saved the whole galaxy. Yeah, whatever, I heard. You know what I mean? Ben Solo is just on like chat rooms, nobody understands me. My parents are so stupid. You know who I really want to be like? My granddad, Adolf Hitler. You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? And then it's Kylo Ren. He's like, man, Darth Vader was the greatest. He was all about genocide. Darth Vader was blowing up whole planets. My dad's so stupid. He can't even wear sleeves, you know? So if you watch that GM commercial, Scott says the kid's name is Kyle. Like Kylo Ren. So, anyway, I don't know if there's ever gonna be an Austin Powers 4.
Well, we're just gonna
but if they did,
Force Awakens.
I bet the kid would be young. Yeah. So who would I cast? I don't know. What's the most?
You should cast Jack Dylan Fraser from It. He's too old for what you're saying, but he seems like the
He's almost 6 foot. What are you talking about?
Wouldn't that make it even better?
That'd be so weird. Guys, Chuck E. Cheese is walking the floor. It's great to see you out and about, Chuck. I love the rebranding. I'm here for it.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thanks so much. All right, next up, what's your name? What is the question?
Hi, my name is Jason Wright, and I just want to first off say, Seth, thank you so much for all the laughs throughout our entire lives, man. You've made an impact on everybody in this room, as you can tell.
That's my privilege.
Just from being yourself. And what I want to know is how do you stay creative? And how do you, with business and the actual, and everything that you've done in your life, and all of that on top of it, how do you still stay creative to this day?
Well, I can tell you it's not consistent, and I've had plenty of emotional ups and downs. Like, it's very challenging, I think, when I can't help but put literally everything I've got into whatever I'm doing, but that also demands that I get excited about what I'm doing enough to put all that passionate effort behind it. So I make a real point of not choosing things that I don't like. That's a big start. Yes. Don't seek things that make you unhappy. And if you realize something makes you unhappy, stop doing that. That's been the biggest thing, but it's not consistent. I do stay reminded of the fact that this is all, even though it's completely ephemeral, like nobody remembers this movie or that movie after like 40, 50 years. Every actor who was called the greatest of their generation has a headstone, and people are like, who was that? You know, it's only about this moment. And so I try to keep that conscious too, like stay present in each of the moments so I get the benefit of it, whether it's good or bad. And then be focused on making stuff that will like give that moment. You say I've given you a lot of laughs, like that's what I'm here for. You say I've helped you feel anything, like you saw something I did, it made you feel something, that's what I'm here for. Hell yeah.
Thank you so much.
I appreciate it.
All right, thanks a lot. All right, next up. Oh yeah, you've been up here before, but still give him the name and the question.
The Spectre of Death as approached. Was this Ghostface?
Yeah, it is. I have the mask.
I can tell by the fringe. Let's hear it.
Nice. My name's Quentin. Nice to meet you.
What's up, Quentin?
I just wanted to first off thank you for making my childhood like the second Scooby-Doo.
Yes.
Movie. First movie ever.
Thank your parents for letting me raise you.
Of course. Yeah. No, the second Scooby-Doo movie is the first movie I ever saw. So it really like has a special place in my heart.
Oh, thanks, man.
But like a year or two ago, I was going through all your old movies, trying to watch the ones I haven't seen, and I came across this movie called Without a Paddle.
Sure.
And it's
we ruled the summer for a period of time, just FYI.
It was so much fun, and I saw the person that dies, the friend that dies, was played by Tony Starr, who's now kind of a big actor, and he plays Homelander, and I hadn't seen him in anything before that. I was just wondering, what was your experiences working with him? What was that like?
I mean, we were making a totally different thing than The Boys.
Yeah.
So we only got to shoot together one day. We were all really chill about it. We were like, hey man, wish you could be here for the rest of the movie.
Yeah.
Great first day. See you never. You know what I mean?
Like 2 seconds, I was like, oh my gosh, he's dead, and he's just dead. And I'm like, okay.
It's true. I mean, spoiler alert, but that's the catalyst for the entire movie is that these guys' best friend die, and then they take a trip that he wanted to take together with his spirit, not his body. They didn't bring his ashes or anything like that.
No, but thank you so much.
Hey, thank you. You live in The Boys, right?
Yeah.
Man, that show's good.
It's so good.
Killer. Nice to meet you, Gwen.
All right. What's your name? What's your question? What you got?
Paige. Hate microphones.
Yeah, microphones are the worst.
I met you yesterday. I was very loud, but on this, I'm like.
Oh, this is very cool. Just want to welcome everybody to my ASMR podcast. Just really appreciate it, honestly. We had a promotional meeting for me. I'm glad I listened and get a tote bag.
No, I really do have a
Okay, let's hear it. You don't want to just workshop this bit with me? I think we have a sketch here.
I really do, but I feel like it's going to get too ASMR.
Yeah, everybody.
Yeah, so what you just said about not doing something that doesn't make you happy touches my soul.
Oh, good.
At the point I am right now.
Hell yeah.
But another quote from today. You can't just live on drugs and glitter.
I'm telling you right now, as soon as he said it, I'm like, I am changing my
I
Facebook
love that
status.
taking it.
Do that as soon as I
Taking
leave
it.
here.
James would be so proud.
I'm gonna make a sticker with it, and I want to donate the proceeds to your favorite charity.
Right on. We can do like Trevor Project or any one of those.
That's
Everybody needs the help.
Yeah, that's the one that I usually donate to.
Oh, so they're still doing really good work.
Yeah, so thank you.
Oh yeah.
And because it was Party Monster was what I was going to ask about, but you already. So I guess a real question would be.
The best shape I've ever been in, by the way, because I was trying to achieve like drug body. Just didn't eat bread for 6 weeks.
Right. So sorry, I'm like nervous on the microphone. So did you really know a lot about the murder before you got into it?
So here's what's crazy is that I grew up in Philadelphia, and when I was like 14 or 15, my sister was 18, 19, and she took the train or drove with a friend, and they went to Limelight all the time. So my sister would come home telling me the stories of these crazy wild clubs, and she, my sister's really little, straight blonde hair, and
way small.
Yeah, right. Yeah, she's a little smaller than me. I got it. But she would roll up there in like the same like China doll dresses that she would wear when she was a little kid. And so she looked like a doll with the ribbon in her hair. Michael Alec saw her and her friend in the line and were like, "You're my girls tonight." Adopted them that whole night, like carried them. Yeah. But this was 2 years before any of that would happen, when he's still like the king of this thing. Picked her, brought them in, and showed them this wild night. So then they could come back anytime after that. And that was like her regular Thursday, was going to New York, hitting the Limelight. So I would hear the stories about it. And then when the whole thing kind of crumbled, Peter Gatien got arrested, I wasn't taking note of it. Like, I learned more about it after the fact. Reading James' book, reading their script, I learned about like what actually happened. But it was this, I don't know, this like Narnia to me. You know, I hear my older sister be like, "You can't go there."
I saw it, I was real young, and I saw this like documentary on it, young, and I just remember the song, and it just stuck in my brain. It was so crazy, like Narnia, this otherworldly like, type thing.
Yeah, like you step through this door of some industrial thing.
Yeah, a weirdo that's never seen weirdos like that. You're just like, wow.
Yeah.
But then they killed people.
Well, not everybody. But that's kind of the point, right? Is the being weird doesn't make you a murderer.
I use that one too.
Yeah, for sure. Well, like when Idle Hands came out the week that Columbine happened, and we really had to, I was still committed to all these precedents, so I'm like, going out to talk about this movie. I had to do Rosie O'Donnell's show. And Rosie's like, well, let's talk about violence in film. Your movie's about a little boy who kills all his classmates. And I was like, well, Rosie, it's not that simple. And also, can I just say that I wore a black overcoat in high school and I didn't kill anybody? You know what I'm saying?
So what you're saying is our high school experience went from Can't Hardly Wait to Idle Hands. Basically.
Yeah.
Well, that's all. Thank you.
All right. Nice to meet you.
All right, so hey, we're running out of time. We're still going to get to every one of these questions.
Doing this.
Let's do this. Do the lightning round.
Speed round.
Question.
Hi, Seth.
Hi, how you doing?
Fabulous.
Fantastic. That's great.
I'm so happy to meet you.
Nice to meet you too.
Oh my God. Okay. So, first
You got this.
I do have this.
Doing great.
I am fabulous. Okay, so, first of all, I've loved you for so long. You are such a versatile actor. Seriously. You do so many things. Voice, everything.
I love it.
I remember your Burger King commercial from when you were a little itty bitty boy.
I had to eat so many burgers.
I feel like she just set you up right there.
Yeah, no, it prepared me.
Seriously, him and Sarah were so cute in that commercial.
Well, Sarah and I did a cookie commercial together. She has a Burger King commercial where it was the first time they name checked. She's like, blah, 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 because McDonald's is garbage. It's the first time any of the commercials name check their competitors. She's real cute about it, too.
But there's so many things that you've done over the years.
It's true.
And when you were talking earlier about Buffy and people sharing it generationally, my daughter, wave your hand, is now a huge Buffy fan. Because,
come on.
You know, she just graduated high school and she loves Buffy.
Hey, congratulations. It's nice when it ends, right? Yeah.
So
that's what they don't tell you. They're like, they sort of softball, oh yeah, you just got 12 years of this. But then when you're like the 9th grade, they're like, you're almost there. You just gotta get through it. Just get out of here.
Right, but now so she's another generation of Buffy fan.
Nice.
So the question I had, one, with It, because Richie was my favorite character with the original It.
Yeah.
Do you have any favorite memory with Tim Curry?
So, I'll try to be cool around him all the time.
Because he's kind of an icon.
He was, like, could not have been one of, like, a greater hero to me at the time. He was all these characters, he could do comedy, he could do very severe things. I'm pretty sure...
You've developed into that, too.
That's, you know, that was what I aimed for. So he was amazingly receptive, and he would just sort of humor me, you know? Because I'm just a kid, I'd be like, yo, Tim, look, when you were making this movie, when you saw that makeup process, I want you to prepare for that. It's like, whatever. And he was very sincere, you know, I worked quite hard on that, yes, I did. And we stayed in touch for a couple years after. So my favorite memory of him, this is the dumbest, is he busted me so bad. So I grew up in Philadelphia, my buddy was in Morristown, New Jersey. I would commute out to his place and we would go to the Cherry Hill Mall every Friday because they had Rocky Horror midnight shows. And, you know, when you're like 13 years old and you're into girls and you hear that there's older teenagers in their underwear LARPing in front of a movie at the mall, it becomes a destination, you know? So I didn't start for the art, but I was like, well, this might be my favorite experience. And you talk about sort of warming up to what would become the club kid culture. It's all that same thing. It's all this sort of freedom of self-expression and, you know, tolerance and acceptance regardless of, you just can't be an asshole, right? But that's kind of the key to it. Anyway, so a buddy of mine had gone to Israel and brought back a Rocky Horror shirt in Hebrew. I arrive on set and I'm wearing this shirt and they're like, I had just gotten into the van to go to set, and for some reason they were like, "Hey, Tim is gonna get. Where do you take Tim to sit? Do you mind sharing the van?" And I was like, no. We'd already met. We'd already done scenes and shit together. And then he gets into the van wearing this Rocky Horror shirt, and not just that, but like a foreign Rocky. It's like a very intentional thing. And he goes, "Oh, Rocky Horror." And I go, "Yeah, it's great. I've seen the thing." He goes, "Slide over." Let him sit next to me in the van. Then we rode the whole way there. He just dripping, mortified of it. He's dressed like the clown. And it was just the entire drive there. Yeah, it's actually my favorite memory though.
Very nice, thank you very much.
Yeah, he's the best.
Thank you for everything that you put into your work. We appreciate it. Thank you for everything.
Thanks for watching.
Thank you so much. All right, next up, what you got? Lightning round.
Yeah, brilliant. That was the 40-minute lightning round.
Beep beep, Bridgie. I'm a big fan of it, obviously. She kind of asked my question, but I'm going to go ahead and ask.
Let's hear it.
Do you keep in touch with any of your other actors that were on set with you, whether older or younger, on it? And what was your favorite memory with your other cast members?
Man, just getting to make that movie was such an awesome experience. We were all young and living in Vancouver for a couple of months in a hotel, so I was not a good role model. We got in a lot of trouble just because we had a lot of incidents with hotel security and random passerby from the balconies. For a long time, I was still in touch with everybody. The kid who played Henry Bowers, Jared, we were roommates. Ben Heller, Stan, we were roommates. Like when they moved down to California, Brandon Crane and I were buddies because he lived up in Anaheim, and so the teenage kids were hanging out on the weekend at Disneyland and not getting into trouble.
Were you guys involved in the filming of the new one at all? Did you interact with any of it?
I mean, I met all those kids after the fact. I got to meet Finn. He had already been cast, but I don't think they'd shot it yet when we first got to meet. And then I saw him at the premiere. I got to meet Jack. And then Jack wound up in Shazam. Zach Levi's a buddy of mine, so I went and visited that set. Got to meet him again there. Everybody, you just sort of, anybody that doesn't quit and doesn't die, you have the opportunity to run it. Like Jake Busey and I just ran into each other. It's probably been like 20 years since we've seen each other. Yeah.
All right, thank you. All right, what's your name? What you got?
We got this.
Hey, Mike. My name is Mike. I spoke to you earlier.
Oh yeah, I remember you.
Terrific to have you this year. My question is, what was it like working on Ticks?
Ticks, buddy. Pulling this out on me. I was very excited to get that job. The guy who made Hellraiser 2 directed it. Alfonso Ribeiro was in it. And Amy Dolan's, who I'd been in Can't Buy Me Love with, got cast in it too, but now we were like playing the same age, which is kind of cool. And my character was all messed up, had like mental, I was agoraphobic. So I was like, my character's got trouble. I can do my lines, but I'm also scared of the outside. Like, it was very exciting for me. And then of course it's like a very silly horror movie. There was a moment where I'm filming, it's the scene, it's what's his name? What? You're doing it? No, anyway. So we're shooting the thing, and it's a scene, you know, where the dog has died and it's got the tick inside it, and they're like, oh my God, what killed this dog? So we're in the vet's office, we're filming this scene, we have the dog that we're supposed to be inspecting, and the dog, it's not a real dog, obviously, it doesn't have a head. So like, they thought they just needed to build the body, and there's no head on the dog. And so we're like trying to cover up the empty space with gauze and shooting a wide shot. Like, this is not a serious movie, is it?
Peter Scolari.
Peter Scolari. There it is.
IMDb, just look him up.
There's a point. Peter actually says in the movie, ticks do not get that big. And if you watch that scene in the movie, you can see Peter, me, the vet, and I swear the headless dog puppet, all like trying not to laugh. But he goes, "Oh, doctor, ticks do not get that big." And I'm just like, this is not a serious movie. We're not serious. Oh, we are? Okay, cool. So the ticks, oh my God. Yeah, it was a blast, man. I was serious about it.
Yeah, the effects were amazing.
Yeah, it's actually some groundbreaking digital stuff at the time.
Awesome, thank you.
Thanks,
All right,
man.
thanks a lot. All right, so this is the last question of the panel. If you have a question, get on over to Seth's booth and go ask him there. So, what's your name? What is the last question of this panel? No question, make it amazing. No pressure, make it amazing.
Oh, Jesus. My name is Thomas.
What's up, Thomas?
I have a question. What was your favorite episode to film for Robot Chicken?
Well, you know, the production process for that is extensive. And every different aspect of it is like a different aspect. There's a couple of real highlights though. I got to record Don Knotts. In our very first season, got to direct him. Burt Reynolds and Dom DeLuise to act together in our booth. There's been some pretty amazing stuff where you're just like, I can't believe this happened. Probably one of the coolest things I got to do was convince George Lucas to record for us. And I got to direct him. And it was just like this. He's so surly. He came in, like, threw his papers down. I'm not reading any of this. And I was like, okay, you better read all of that, actually. There's a lot of moments where you're just like, how is this my real life? I just try to be there in that moment so I can do it, you know what I mean? Because even though you're like, holy shit, I can't believe this is happening, you still have to do the thing. Right on, thanks man.
All right guys, so like I said, we've run out of time.
Ladies and gentlemen.
I'm telling you right now, this man
oh my goodness.
3 hours. It's gonna get this speed. I literally, you know how many questions I got to on my tablet? 0.
Did you have a tablet question?
Of course I did.
Is it like, how do I download this new software? Or?
No, the question is this. I'll make it really quick. Seriously, what was it like being in the ring at WrestleMania?
You know,
Dude, those wrestlers protect you well. That was amazing.
The greatest. I mean, I can't say this around my wife, but it was like the greatest night of my life. For those of you that don't know this, I was the first celebrity guest host of Monday Night Raw. And I got to GM all of the matches that happened that night, including putting myself into a 6-man tag team match where me, John Cena, and Triple H fought against Randy Orton, Cody Rhodes, and the Young DiBiase. And no big deal, I punched Cody. I got a shot in on Cody Rhodes. I took a hit from the Viper, whatever. John Cena saved the day. Ish. Yeah, I even got, it was the greatest. Come on, that's the best.
That's awesome.
It's the best.
All right, everybody, so let's give a big round of applause for the one and only Seth Green Panel. About 15 minutes, you're gonna have a check party.
Oh my God, the Hobbies are here!
All right.
Hey, thanks guys, I appreciate y'all coming out.